Okay. Oh wait, I gotta turn on push to talk for Discord so that I can say things without you hearing them. And when
Okay.
I want you to hear them, you will.
Can't wait for you to forget to use Bush to talk like half the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like anddrond, and then say anddrond like 4 times, and then you're not gonna say anything, and I'm like, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
then
I
you're
mean, part of that might be because if I'm like muted in the middle of a boss fight or something, I'm not gonna unmute to start talking to you, but
yeah.
you know what? While I do this, I can do something on OBS.
I'm ready when you are. We can count down anytime.
Give me a sec. I know there's some way in OBS to disable it showing my cursor.
You go into the source, and you right click on whatever you don't want to show your cursor over. And you go to edit or whatever it says. You go to properties. Yeah, I think so.
Alright. Recording, get all my windows. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright. A link to the past randomizer. I'm racing anddrond, a friend of mine online. Randomizer settings. If you played A Link to the Past before, you're going to notice some differences. The randomizer settings are set up so that items locations are randomized and enemies are also randomized. This gives the game a lot of replay value. Right now we're going through a route I tested earlier. Well, I only tested different versions of this route to see which one was faster, but I haven't tested like starting from Link's house or anything, so I'm not exactly sure if my full clear of Kakariko Village will be faster than his. Yeah, we're basically looking for various items that will allow us to complete the game. The goal of this game is to get 7 crystals and go through Ganon's tower and then defeat Ganon. And the location of the crystals is also randomized. As you saw there when I looked on the map, that's bad. We need to get 7 crystals, and in each dungeon you need certain items to beat them. But if they are not a crystal dungeon, you might not need to beat them, so you might not need to get the items that are required to beat that dungeon. So Great deal. This is Kakariko, by the way. When I say full clear an area, that means I'm checking all the items in an area and picking them up if they are useful to me. That's a go mode item if a dungeon like Swamp Palace is required to beat. Bombs. Each item will unlock more and more places for us to go. For example, you saw me go into this house earlier because I made a mistake. Forgot I didn't have bombs. But now that I have bombs, I can put one down there and open this wall and see a chest here. Amazing. That hammer is a go mode item if various dungeons in the Dark World are required to beat, which I'm sure those dungeons are because I already have a pendant dungeon in the Light World. So let's... in this version, or for our race rules, we are allowing minor glitches and save and quit. Save and quit's a given because it might be impossible to do without, but minor glitches make it a lot easier or more convenient, and you'll see a few of them. I'll explain as we go. Shit, I saw a fish on the way here, didn't I? And I didn't pick it up. I'm gonna have to go to the shop. Never mind, there's a fish right here. Where'd it go? Thought I just saw a fish. Okay then. There it is. If we walk this fish over to the bottle merchant, which is the guy that's sitting there next to a bunch of pots, we get a special surprise. Now I have 8 bombs and I can check more bomb things in the future. If an item is something like bombs, a heart piece, or heart container, or rupees, I might not need to pick it up, so I don't... Like those bombs weren't necessary because I already had quite a few, and I couldn't get them anyway, so... Actually, it might be easier to do this. We're gonna go over to what's called the potion shop. The potion shop, we get to use our mushroom and check for an item there. Since I save and quit, the game data is saved, and when I give the mushroom to them, I'll lose it. But if it gives me an item that I don't want or don't need, I can just restart instead of save and quitting, and I'll have my mushroom back because I saved it when I had it and restarted it without saving. Shit. Okay. Since we got a weapon, we're gonna go over to Hyrule Castle next. It says save there, but it didn't really save. I want to kill one enemy here, and this tree over here on the right, if I pull on it after killing an enemy, I get items, and in randomizer what items those are randomized, and they're useless because they're single rupees. So we got kind of a bad seed in that regard. Cool. In Hyrule Castle, there is what's called a dark room, and I'm sorry if it sounds really weird. I'm saying what's called and stuff as if you haven't seen this before, but I assume a lot of my viewer base has not. So I'm gonna say things like that at least for this first race. If we do another, then I will just refer to them as if you already know. But anyway, dark room is. That's exactly self-explanatory, a dark room, and I need the lamp, which you can see on my tracker there, it's on the left, grayed out, to see in them. But since I know some of the layout of some of the dark rooms, I can navigate them without the lamp. However, since we have enemy shuffle on, it's a little risky because we don't know what enemies are in there. So, even though I have the layout memorized, I don't know what enemies are in there, and I could get killed while navigating it because I can't see their movement patterns. Probably just gonna try it once, and then if we die, we're just gonna save and go back out. Hyrule Castle, Hyrule Castle is technically a dungeon, but it does not have a crystal associated with it or a compass. Each dungeon, except for this one, has a map and a compass that in the vanilla game will show you what the internal map looks like, and the compass will show you which room the boss is in. But since we already know those items are basically useless to us, so we kind of hope to not get them. And because we know how many items are in each dungeon, I'll take a death here so that I can go back to the start. Since we know how many items are in a dungeon, you can know if we need to go to certain rooms or not. For example, the first dungeon, Eastern Palace, has a few items. This is a dark room, by the way. It has a few items, but one of the items could be behind the boss. And if you get a compass early on, map and a big key, you have to get a big key to get the boss. But if you get all those items, then you know that there's an item on the boss. If you don't, and you're missing like 2 items, whoops. You're missing like 2 items, 2 dungeon items that is, you'll know you might not have to beat the boss get what you want. There's something else. Okay. We're gonna head over to Mini Molding Cave next. So probably just should have save and quit from in there, but that's fine. Actually, we're not going to go to Mini Molding Cave, we're going to go to the desert and swamp. Here's a dam. There are 2 items in here. You're going to see a minor glitch right about now. I'm going to use the mirror and make that block disappear. This only works in the Japanese 1.0 version of A Link to the Past, which is what this randomizer is based off of. There's English text because the randomizer patches the Japanese text out. We'll pick that up. So that you can read things and see things. There are certain things that you do need to read, like for example there are hints on where items are, so it's helpful to know those. There is the desert ledge. I can see that item, but I can't pick it up. And since I know it's just red rupees aren't needed to progress in the game, so I'm not gonna go pick it up anytime soon. After this, we're gonna save and quit and then do Mini Moldorm Cave. It's called Mini Moldorm Cave because it usually has a bunch of Mini Moldorms in it, but since this is enemy shuffled, there might not be. As these shadow enemies that can be killed when they're out, unless you have their weakness. Quick shot is a weakness for them, but since I don't have that, I'll have to do this. I almost fell in the pit. That's important. That's important. That's also important, but we don't want it. I didn't actually want this sword. This is a Master Sword. It does twice the damage of the Fighter Sword, which is what I had before, but that's only for enemies. Each boss has its own damage values, or the damage it takes from weapons values, and Armos, the first boss, which is a crystal dungeon, I think. Oh no, I don't need to beat that. Well then I do want the sword. Armos is programmed to take less damage from the Master Sword than the Fighter Sword. Sure so, there's an item on the boss in that dungeon. I'm gonna save and quit after this and go to, never mind, I'm gonna go to Desert. That book lets me go into the Desert Palace, which we passed by before, but we couldn't really do anything for because we need this book to read a gravestone, and reading the gravestone allows us to get past a bunch of strangely shaped stones that are blocking us from entering the palace. Desert Palace here has quite a few items in it. Or not quite a few, but there are a few items in it. One of them is on top of a torch, and that means if an item is there, that means it's boots locked. And what that means is I need the Pegasus boots, which make me run fast, to run into it and make it fall off of the torch. So we'll see if a necessary item is on that torch. If it's not, then we don't need to. That's a glitched enemy. Okay, we don't need that item, but we will check this. This is a hint. That... Okay. In this randomizer there are hints. Might have said this before. But some of them are basically useless. And they're programmed to be useless. So... we had a little bit of fun there checking that hint. That was probably the swamp dam item that was a heart piece. A lot of times when the hint is useful, it'll be a lot more specific and say like the westmost chests of Swamp Palace contain, you know, these specific items instead of just a unique item. I have the mirror. Oh, fire source. I got that. Okay. Forgot to check the big key chest. What items do we have? Oh. Might not need to check the big key chest. Since when I paused there, I checked if I had the dungeon map and the compass. The only checks in this wait. I can't do the back of the desert. Alrighty then. Oh, I forgot I had flippers. That means that we can do some swimming things. So we're gonna go do those now. I need the power glove to be able to get into the back of that dungeon and beat the boss. It's a crystal, but it doesn't really matter too much right now because I'm pretty sure the item there is a map or a compass. Enemy shuffle causes some weird things like land enemies being in water and then walking on water. If I didn't have flippers, I would be able to show a glitch called fake flippers, where the game checks if you have flippers when you jump into water normally, but if you jump into a screen transition or die and get revived by a fairy when you're jumping into water, you will be able to swim without flippers because it skips the game's check for whether or not you have flippers. However, in this version of the game, that glitch, if you get hit while you're in water, you die instantly, no matter how much health you have. So, in the original non-randomizer, you just get soft-locked. Where am I going? You just get soft-locked because it lets you stand in the water, but as soon as you move, you jump into the water and go back to the position you're standing on. It tries to make you go back to the position you jumped at, but if you aren't on the screen where the original position you jumped at is, then you won't be able to not be soft-locked. Getting these medallions here, those big medallions, is kind of important because there are 2 dungeons that are locked by the use of these medallions. I kind of locked that. That are locked by the use of the medallions. So the more we have, the more likely it is that we'll have access. Whether or not those, or which medallions those dungeons are locked by is also randomized in this, and you won't know which one you need to use to get into it until you go over to the dungeon and see what medallion it tells you. Oh shit, I'm big dumb. You need 500 rupees to get that check, and I only have 200. We're probably gonna go to Eastern, because I think that's the only other place that has items right now. I probably should have done it earlier, but I got access to Desert Palace and decided to go over there. It's better to do this earlier because there are some easy item checks behind Sahasrala's hut, which is a little hut next to Eastern Palace right here. Bruh, every time I play this game with the green pendants, either in Thieves Town or Soul Woods. It's amazing. Right, that was pointless. But now I know that there's a pendant in Thieves Town. Sahasrala, after you get the green pendant from a dungeon, he will give you an item. But it's unlikely that the item is useful because there are so many items that aren't useful. And the fact that you need to complete a whole dungeon just to get the item from him makes his item check really tedious. Oh god. Okay. That chain chop does a lot of damage. I've never counted how much, but probably more than I can handle right now. It's too hard stuff. Come in. One thing I should mention is logic. In this game, logic is essentially there's a lot of these items that are required to beat certain dungeons, but it would really suck if the item that was required to beat the dungeon was behind you know, that dungeon. So there's an algorithm to make sure that items are in accessible locations, and that's what logic is basically. When we say something is out of logic, that means that we get an item, or that an item is there without the you can get. Fuck, I'm sucking at explaining this. So in this dungeon, there's also a dark room, and if I didn't have the lamp, items back there would be out of logic because the game doesn't expect me to be able to get items without the lamp to see in the dark. Are hints off in race ROMs? I don't know. I'm probably gonna waste my time checking them all. We're missing a compass, so there's one more actual item in this dungeon, and if this is the compass, not in this room per se, but if this next chest coming up is the compass, then that means that there's an item on the boss, and we will have to beat it to get that item. But it might not be to our advantage to beat that boss because it is a pendant dungeon, and we don't need the pendants. Unless we have to pick up an item at the Master Sword pedestal, and you need all 3 pendants to pick up the item at the Master Sword pedestal, so it would suck if this was a pet item. That, so let me save and quit. I think. What can we do? I'm gonna check the Master Sword pedestal to see if it's an item we need. I'd have to do that anyway, and I'm not going to Lost Woods anytime soon. Do I have Dark World access? Yeah, I think we should just check the Master Sword pedestal for now. I don't think there's anything else we can do. Oh, we can beat Aghanim. Fuck. God. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Aghanim is the boss that normally lets you access the Dark World. And it sucks to do his dungeon because it's kind of long, and it doesn't give you any items. So it's preferable to get other items that let you access the Dark World. If I had the Power Glove, for example, I'd be able to go to south of my house, and there's a hammer peg blocking a rock that needs to be picked up with the Power Glove. And underneath that rock is a portal to the Dark World, but we don't have any of that right now, so we're gonna go ahead and beat Aghanim since we have the Master Sword. You need the Master Sword to kill this thing that's blocking the door to Aghanim. Aghanim's tower. You fight Aghanim 2 times in this game. You fight Aghanim 2 times in this game, well, in the vanilla game at least. Once here, and once at Ganon's tower. Because, spoiler alert, Aghanim is just Ganon, except an alter ego form. I don't need to do any of that with the weapon. It's just... That was scary. That thing's a wall master. It'll take you back to the beginning of the dungeon if it grabs you. And we don't want any of that. These are all dark rooms, as you can see, and if I didn't have the lamp, the game wouldn't be able to, or expect me to be able to do this. I actually don't know, off the top of my head, the navigation for these rooms in the dark without being able to see, so it's a lot more preferable to not do this dungeon if you don't have the lamp. It will give you Dark World access regardless of whether or not you have the lamp, however. I didn't feel like actually trying in that room, so... Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna die to fucking Red Guard and Aghanim's tower. Oh. Those red guards are really good at noticing you. They have to see you to start chasing you, but the red ones, apparently they didn't this time. Usually when I enter a room that has them, they will automatically start chasing me. But they didn't this time, that was good, because it let me through. Alright, so it looks like Aghanim is going to be our first boss. Aghanim cannot be hurt with a sword or any other kind of weapon. He will shoot magic balls at you, and you'll have to use your weapon to reflect those balls back at him. I think it takes 6 balls to kill him. Occasionally he will shoot blue balls, which cannot be reflected at him. And they kind of suck when you hit them because it's random whether or not he shoots them. It's kind of random. He has a pattern of he teleports, and then he will shoot a ball. He does this 4 times. The first time he does it, it will be guaranteed a ball you can reflect at him. That way you'll be able to beat him. And then the other times it's 50-50 blue balls. And then on his 5th teleport, he'll go over to the top and do that lightning attack he did earlier. And then the cycle repeats. I haven't been counting the blue balls, but we have a habit of counting them. Because, I don't know. We got unlucky and we got a bunch of blue balls. So we are gonna beat this boss before his 3rd cycle started. Thieves' Town and Ice Palace. So those 2 dungeons, Thieves' Town and Ice Palace, are the pendant dungeons that we will probably not need to beat. I'll take that. Now that we have access to the Dark World, we can do various things. Quite a few, actually. Do I have bow? I do not. So it would be better if I just went south here. Never mind. We could do Swamp Palace. It's the dungeon that's down there. Oh, they don't die. Those things have a 50-50 chance of being able to die in a randomizer. Swamp Palace. You need the flippers, which I have, and the hookshot, which I don't have. But it is possible that the hookshot is in there. And that would be terrible because there are 216 item locations and there are only a few in there. So it's more likely that the hookshot will not be in there than that it will be. But it could be, and that would suck because of that likelihood. I don't know why I picked this up. Because of that likelihood, you would expect to do other dungeons first and get the hookshot. I could do digging game. This is the digging game, and that's the item. Well, that was pretty self-explanatory. There is a mechanic to it. In the vanilla game, it's completely random whether or not you get the intended piece of heart that's there, but in this game, that would kind of suck if it was random and you never got it. So after 30 digs, you're guaranteed to get it. It is still partially random. I want those. Oh, Hype Cave, I forgot about that. There's probably a bunch of items in there. At least one. Hype Cave is right over here. Hype Cave is kind of like Mini Molder Cave in that it has 5 items and a guy you can talk to. Okay, that's good. We're gonna go check a tablet, and then I don't know what we're gonna do actually. Oh, we can do back of his gate. We in the dungeon, the Hyrule Castle. Earlier, after we got the chest that we couldn't see because it was dark, I just quit, but there are actually 3 more chests in there. But I don't think I could get them because I didn't get the key that is required to get them. But there's a secret entrance to that dungeon that lets you Palace of Darkness. That lets you go into the back and do the things. There are 3 chests back there. I'm repeating myself. Actually, it's gonna be faster. Since I've beat Aghanim and I have the magic mirror, when I save and quit, if I'm in the Dark World, I will start on the pyramid in the Dark World. Since we got the bow, we can beat Palace of Darkness, which is a dungeon I passed by earlier. I didn't really pass it by, but you get through it through this region here. There's a statue with an eye, and you have to shoot the eye with the bow in order to get to the last room of the dungeon where the boss is. You need rupees to get into Palace of Darkness because the door is locked by a switch that's on top that is inaccessible, but this monkey can access it. Kiki the monkey. If you take damage while Kiki the monkey is following you, he will stop following you. You have to go pick him up again at the place that I picked him up at. It costs 10 rupees to get him to follow you, and it costs 100 rupees to get him to open this dungeon. Music? Okay. I haven't had this glitch happen to me before, but I have no music anymore. I assume it'll reset once I leave the dungeon, because the music will change once I leave the dungeon. they're not there anymore. See, those guys instantly noticed me even though I wasn't in their line of sight at all. It is really weird not having music. Oh god. Okay. Whoops. Items required to beat this dungeon are the hammer and the bow, and technically the lamp. I guess hints aren't on in race ROMs. That is useful. Those are the Titan's Mist. They let us lift heavier rocks that are darkly colored. We're gonna check the back here. Oof. Okay. My items. No big key, no map, and no compass. Don't know how many small keys are in this dungeon, so I'm gonna check all the chests anyway because I'm gonna think that there are items in them. Fuck. I thought I could get past it because it was technically stuck on the wall for a little bit. But, that sucks. Will I have music now? Yes. Yeah. I won't be needing that anymore. Now it won't be so awkwardly quiet. It kind of sucks that we died there, because we didn't get the last few items. That's not gonna fucking blow up the wall. It's okay. That hit me. Silver arrows. those do a lot more damage to enemies. In fact, they instantly kill most enemies that are vulnerable to it. And they also instantly kill most bosses that are vulnerable to it. And they are the only weapon that can damage Ganon in his last phase. Without glitches, of course. There is a minor glitch that allows you to damage Ganon on certain frames of his teleportation animation. The Gyvdos take a lot of hits to kill, but they instantly die to all kinds of fire damage. There's a fire rod and this bombos weapon that will kill him instantly. The bombos weapon will kill most enemies instantly, but the fire rod will also kill the Gyvdos instantly. We need the hammer to pass. That was a terrible menu navigation. Might have been faster for me to use bombos. You might have noticed that there was a bat there, even though I was supposed to kill all the enemies to leave that room. The bats, for whatever reason, don't count towards the total for enemies in a room. It's the Helmasaur, a boss you need either bombs or hammer to break his mask off and hit him. You need to hit him 17 times with a hammer or 5 times with bombs. Bombs take longer because of the bomb timer, and the fact that he moves and you can miss really easily. I was supposed to be counting so that I could do this a little faster, but after you break his mask off, you can hit him in his gem, and silver arrows will kill him instantly. So that's one dungeon down. Crystal. I don't know if this is a red crystal. It doesn't look red here, but none of the red crystals do. They'll only look red on the map and in your pause menu after you collect them. It looks like it was a blue crystal. My tracker updated with blue. We want to go to the light world. I should have mirrored. Now that we have gloves and mitts, we can access various places on Death Mountain. Yeah, let's save and quit again. Death Mountain has quite a few checks on it, especially on the right side. There's a cave called Paradox Cave that has 7 chests in it. That'll be very useful to us. Unless, of course, it's just all rupees, bombs, and arrows, because we already have those. We couldn't get into there. We couldn't get into there before because there was this big rock that we needed the power glove to lift. We can now do Zora because we have 500 rupees. I should have gone there when I actually had 500 rupees the first time. But, you know. I mean, I didn't have 500 rupees before, but I should have waited anyway. But I am a big Dumbo idiot and didn't check my rupee count. This old man here was trapped in this cave. When I bring him to his home, because he lives here for some stupid reason, he will let me spawn here when I save and quit. He'll also fully heal me if I go talk to him. Also a dungeon up here, the Tower of Hera. That is a go mode dungeon because it is a crystal. We need it to beat Ganon's tower and beat Ganon. So we might as well do it now. Yeah. There's also a tablet up here I can check. Should probably go ahead and do that. There is one major glitch that is technically allowed in this race category type thing, but it was the sink heart. It's called the Hera pot, and it lets you go into a pot and skip the need for the big key of this dungeon. But I don't know how to do it, and neither does anddrond. So we won't be performing it. We don't have sword beams anymore. Yeah, I guess hints are on. That was kind of vague. We have the big key, so we can just go up. No, actually, we need a small key to go to that door. We might be isolating an item in the basement. We might need to come back for it later. If the item in there is not a compass. I'm freaking okay. So we gotta hope that every other item is not a compass, so that we can beat this quickly. Okay, there's an item in the basement. Here's a minor glitch. It's called bomb jumping. Well, bomb jumping across the pits. This is that. Okay. Bombs will push you when you get damaged by them, but normally not that far. However, okay. However, if you stand right against the edge, as soon as you blow up, you're not on the ground anymore, so it sends you very far and over 2 tile-wide pits. We're not going to try the weird strat. Here the boss is Moldorm. In randomizer, one thing that is random is the number of eyes he has. Wow, I do not feel like counting how many eyes he has this time around. Oh shit. Alright. If we fall off, his health will reset when we come back up here, so it's better to kill him in one go. The bottle will be useful to us, but doesn't do anything for us because we already checked Sick Kid. The Sick Kid in Kakariko Town will only give you an item once you have a bottle. We already had one bottle. We never get a small key? What? Wait. I'll just assume it's down there. Some items can lock themselves and be unobtainable, but only if they're not useful. For example, it's like what happened there. I'm assuming the small key was down in the basement. I already had the hammer. The small key being in the basement means we don't really need to get it, because the only reason we would need the small key is to get to that basement, and there would only be one item there, which in this case is the small key. So, yeah. This is Spiral Cave, which only has one check, but once we come out, we will be right by Paradox Cave, which has the 7 chests I mentioned before. If you're wondering why the cave is called Paradox Cave, that's because we're going to enter at the bottom here. We're going to fall in this hole. And actually, we'll show you once I get the items. But when we go out of that door, we will be at the top, even though we fell in the hole to get here. It's a lot less likely that there are useful items in here because we already get a bunch of useful items in Palace of Darkness. But it's still worth it to check. Just in case, you know. Randomizer is a lot of just in case. We're not at the top of the mountain, but we are higher than where we were before. So, that is the paradox. Go up the stairs here. Actually, not go up the stairs. We want to go to the Dark World now. There's a rock here that now that I have the Titan's Mitts, I can lift. And there's a Dark World portal underneath it. We don't have to worry about the mirror in these places taking us back to the start. The mirror will... should have said this first. The mirror in dungeons will take you back to the start, but in these places, these are just caves, so we will not go back to the start if we use it, so we can do that glitch. But that means that in a dungeon we can't do this block glitch, because if we use it, we'll just go back to the start, and we'll have to do a lot more work. Yeah. Actually, it's faster if we just... Art piece. We don't need that. So... let's go... out of here. We'll go to Kakariko and lift a... Whoops. Bruh, I'm so dumb. We'll go to Kakariko, lift a big rock. That'll let us go to the Dark World and clear out the Village of Outcasts, the Dark World version of Kakariko Town. Thieves' Town is a pendant dungeon. Thieves' Town is the dungeon of Village of Outcasts, so we'll probably not need to do it. So we're actually just gonna go up into Skull Woods. Actually, we need the fire rod to full clear Skull Woods. Why did I go down here? We don't have the fire rod, evidently, but there might be items in there. Plus, if I do once I do Skull Woods, I can mirror in front of the point where the entrance to the Master Sword pedestal room is, and check if this is a ped seed or not. I really hope Zora doesn't have a useful item. Turtle Rock isn't a pendant. Oh well. Turtle Rock is the final dungeon of the vanilla game. And it's kind of annoying. Especially the boss. The boss is easy if you have Tempered Sword or better. But otherwise it is kind of annoying. Gonna go into Thieves' Town and check an item or two. If it turns out that there are no Go Mode items in here, then, oh my god. If it turns out that there are no Go Mode items in here, then, this will be a waste of time. It's a big loss for us. Because we wouldn't have needed to do this, and anddrond probably will not have checked this dungeon, because it is a pendant, so, okay. Those Lionel enemies are a real pain. They do 4 hearts of contact damage when you have green mail, and the fireball they spit out does too. I don't know what I just picked up, but it wasn't a Go Mode item. Yeah, it's useful. See, if any of the dungeons we need, any of Turtle Rock or what's it called, Misery Mire, the medallion dungeons need these items, will be added an advantage, or ether, which is what I just got. We wouldn't need any of the other items we picked up. So if any of those are required, then I will be at a big advantage. Because I did that, he probably won't have done that. I don't know what we're going to do next, actually. So, I mean, I'm going to check Bumper Ledge, which is it's a ledge up here that I need a magic cape to get, but it, like... Okay, so we don't need that. I actually have flippers, so actually I do know what we're going to do. Since we have flippers, we can go from this part of the Dark World to the other side. The Dark World is divided by a big river. But since I have the flippers, I can get across. Let's go in here. There's a check in here that I can do. Since I have Titans, let's go away. Yeah, over here. Probably should have moved. When we come out of this cave, we're probably gonna run into the Dark World portal. We'll take that. We're probably gonna run into the Dark World portal, and because in the Dark World this is a cave, it's gonna, or not a cave, it might consider me as still inside of the cave tile and take me back. Yeah, it's gonna be a time loss for us. I have to wait until I'm not intangible, because I get iframes from doing that to go back. Potion shop will give you a free instant use red potion if you talk to that little apprentice. So there might be really bad enemies up there, I'm not sure. Oh, we saw for like a frame what enemy that was in vanilla. I'm not sure if that's the enemy in vanilla, but the sprite was this little big mouth kind of thing. And then it turned into whatever it was randomized into. This is the catfish. If there will rock into this circle of stones, you will get an item. That was one of those. We can check Zora now. I almost save and quit. Wouldn't have been able to check Zora. If Zora is useful, that would have been terrible. If Zora is not useful, then what I'm doing now is terrible. It would be a big help if we had the boots, because that makes us go fast. But we don't. I swear to God, I'm going to be very upset if the boots are right here. Magic tape. We don't really need this. I forgot why I was going to save and quit. Quick. Link's house? No. Sanctuary, actually, because I wanted to go to... No? Frick. Yeah, let's go to Sanctuary. I forgot why I wanted to go to Sanctuary. But I know we're gonna go to Kakariko, and I think it's faster to go Kakariko from here. Oh, Smith Chain, yeah. There is a transformed blacksmith. The power of the Dark World has turned him into a frog, and I have to rescue him and bring him to the Light World and get an item from him. In the vanilla game, he gives me a sword. In this game, we will see. Bit of a time loss for us forgetting why we wanted to go here and then going to Link's house. but it's fine. Boy, it would really suck if Hookshot was in Skull Woods and Fire Rod was in Swamp Palace. Fire Rod was in Swamp Palace. I should have checked what Turtle Rock was when I was on Death Mountain. But we can't really do it anyway, because we don't have, what do we have? We have Canis Maria. We have all 3 medallions. What else do you need to beat Turtle Rock? We might need a Fire Rod, but I don't remember what other items you need. Oh, you need the Ice Rod to beat the boss. Which I don't have. Okay. Gotta go fast. It's gonna be very helpful to us in movement, not in anything else really. This unlocks 2 checks. Oh, we can do this. Actually, first. This is a minor glitch called item dashing. Normally you can't dash with an item, get out of my way. But if you press an item, the use item button and the dash button on the same frame, you can item dash, which works differently for different items, but with the hammer it lets us do this very quickly. That would normally take a long time. We don't need that. Okay. Now that we got the blacksmiths saved, there's a purple chest here. It's locked. Okay, it's locked. We need someone to open it for us. And lucky for me, I know where that guy is. He's in Save and Quit land. Actually, I'm so used to not having the mirror at this point. I keep saving and quitting before I mirror. God, I'm gonna, if I end up losing by like 4 minutes because I keep saving quitting incorrectly, I will be very upset. We have the boots, so we can move. Since we fucked that up, it's probably faster to just, where'd he go? Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Please be here. Okay. I forgot that when you press A, the the chest gets left behind. And I tried to dash because I was like, oh, I have the boots, I can dash now. But I was scared that if I left the chest behind in my house and went through screen transition, I would have lost it. But luckily, this chest stays with you anywhere in the world, I guess. I know that it stays across screen transitions, but I don't know if it stays through, okay, the house. That unlocks 1 check for us. God. Of course, the bush enemy is Beamos. Bush enemy could be really anything, it would be annoying, but Beamos are unkillable, so you can't damage it by dashing through it with your sword out. When you dash, you do 1 less damage than you normally do. That is, like the damage that the previous sword would have normally. So, when I dash, I do the damage that the fighter sword does to enemies. The shovel only unlocks this 1 check here in this exact tile. If we dig, we'll get a piece of heart. In the middle of the game, it's a flute, which is kind of what I was hoping for, but we'll be fine. We're gonna go to Sanctuary now. I just remembered I did not do the back of escape. We'll do the other things first and then do back of escape. God. I'm glad boots weren't in there, because that means that anddrond would have had a massive amount of checks. Or not amount of checks, but he would have been done all of this so much faster if the boots were down there, but the boots are at Smith's Chain, so we're probably good. There might be a rod in there. Whatever. We're gonna save and quit pretty soon anyway, once we get the item in this and the back of escape. Wow, okay, so the fire rod was boots locked. That's kind of good that it's not in back of escape, because I will not have been at a disadvantage in that regard. I'm actually, fuck, kind of hoping there aren't any good items back there. Because if there are, then, by good item, I'll mean flute at this point, because if the flute was in there, then anddrond will have had a much better time moving around. Okay, just a bottle. We can do Skullwoods now. We could have done most of Skullwoods and gotten the items, but there is, actually I don't think. There's a, back entrance that is made out of wood, and it's locked by the fire rod, because you need to burn it with a fire rod, you can't burn it with anything else. I think at this point, my go mode items are flute and hookshot. I already have all the others I need. I might need one more item I just forgot. What's going here? Flute, hookshot. I might need the pendants. Is that what I was gonna say? I might need all 3 pendants to get the Master Sword pedestal, but that's what we're gonna check after we do this section. Ooh, baby. anddrond probably wouldn't have gone into this dungeon without the fire rod either, so I think I'm good. Alright, we got a small key, that's good. We don't want to go in there. That room will lock behind us. That was pretty dumb. Right, we didn't really need that, but, yeah. Bruh. Should we die? No, we have a fairy. It's gonna revive us. I'll just take this red potion instead. Bruh. Okay, at least it has a really long path. Those rollers can't be killed and do a lot of damage. Gotta be 2 anti-fairies in here. At least I have Cane. Cane of Samaria will let me do this. Okay. It is very late. isolated an item somewhere. I think it's the big chest. And the room we didn't want to go into. Here's the fire rod locked door. Or thing. I don't know what to call it. There we go. There's one chest down here. No, I didn't want to bunk. Okay, we're good. That star enemy? Okay. That star enemy will turn us into a bunny. Let me use the mirror. We don't want to be turned into a bunny because then we would have had to wait to not be a bunny anymore, and I went to the wrong item. Let's just in case. We might go back. There are dungeon items. Okay. Mothula is really annoying because Mothula will not take damage if you knock Mothula into the spikes because of the way. Oh god. Okay. We ran out of magic there, but it's fine. We're gonna go back and, well, first we'll check the Master Sword pedestal, then we will check the big chest. If the big chest is a compass, we may need to, go to that room we didn't want to go into. Oh, this is the wrong tile. I thought I was in the right. I haven't mirrored here before actually, so I thought that there was something I needed to get out of the way of. Okay, we don't need that. That's a heart container. We're gonna go into Village of Outcasts and do something that I forgot the purpose of. Oh, activate flute. The flute will take us to any of 8 locations in the light world. Once we activate it at Kakariko Town, there's a bird that comes out of a statue, and whenever we want to be picked up by the bird, we can use the flute, and it'll take us to one of the 8 locations. This is not... Come on. Hey. Bit of a time loss because I didn't know that that would have had to have been the small key because I didn't count how many items are in this dungeon. I don't like Skull Woods very much because the boss is Mothula and the spike mechanics are really stupid. I think the spike mechanics are a glitch, but nonetheless. I think they're glitched because in the American version, that doesn't happen. The spike mechanics, the way it works is, the spikes do damage to the boss for whatever reason, and they do level 4 damage, which is the gold sword. But Mothula is programmed to take 0 damage from the gold sword, so while Mothula has iframes, or while Mothula is being hit, if she touches the spikes, Mothula will have the damage that you just dealt her overwritten and take 0 damage. Which is pretty dumb, in my opinion. What is that? Quake. I really hope Turtle Rock is Ether. I need Ice Rod. That's what we're looking for in these. Thieves Town and Ice Palace. So we will need to do Mire. So might as well get it out of the way. After we do Mire, we're going to do the rest of Desert. Oh god. That was a terrible enemy layout. Oh, we gotta kill every enemy in this room. Those Lionels, the lion enemies, they don't die to bombos, I don't think. So they're really a pain to deal with. Tektites will jump away if you slash your sword at them. If they're behind a wall, or if you're close enough to them when you slash, they will get hit anyway, but it's still pretty annoying. So I just bombos. We don't have the big key or the hook shot, so we're just gonna... Do I need the hook shot to beat this dungeon? I don't think I do. There's a minor glitch called hovering that I don't know how to perform. It involves the dash. If you dash, or if you dash but you don't move, you do this little, like, foot, like, stomping thing. You, will float over a pit, and you can release the dash button for 1 frame and still not, fall into the pit. So if you repetitively press the dash button, without, starting to move forward, and then release it, but only for 1 frame, you will, oh god, it's just... You'll float, and you can keep doing that and move across pits that are otherwise inaccessible. You could have moved across those bridges from earlier. Yeah. I didn't press the crystal switch. dead? Yeah. I have a fairy. But now I don't have a fairy anymore, so if I die again, it will take me to the beginning of the dungeon. Or a save and quit position. Useful hint. I'm missing a chest here, am I? Nope, not. That's the wrong button. Need Cane of Samaria to get this here. This is a switch. They have no way of pressing. It needs to be held down. You have no way of holding it down and going through the door unless you have this cane. It creates a block. Okay. I thought that wasn't going to hit the switch for a second. God, we don't have magic powder. If we had something called magic powder, we'd be able to shoot those, they're called anti-fairies, the little flaming things. Those, oh shit, they drop bombs. And get a bunch of health. Can you drop a heart? Fuck, I think they drop hearts in this randomizer. Or bombs. They normally drop hearts. Or do they? I need to. I keep forgetting to hit the crystal switch. Or maybe I didn't forget, I just accidentally hit it. Do a special strat here with the cape. Fuck, I bombed. Oh god. Every time I bonk it this time. Down. Alright. It's my complete. First shield. The shield will just block against weak projectiles. It doesn't actually provide any real defense. Alright, we can do the back of Desert Palace now, because we can do the following. We had glow so we could do this earlier, but not when I first came here. Ooh, I got lucky. Sometimes, if you're not aligned on the right pixel, when you unlock a door while dashing, you'll bonk, lose time. This boss is Landmolus, 3 worm-like things that come out of the ground. We have silver arrows, so it takes 3 shots to kill, because there's 3 of them. Frick. God. I have 3 Psycho Blue Landmolus. That was pretty slow, but it's fine. We're gonna do Checkerboard Cave, which is over here. And, we are... oh god. Okay, good. Okay, we don't need that. We're gonna flute to... place. We're gonna flute to where Swamp Palace is. I have a feeling the hookshot is in here for very terrible reasons. Oh, come on. Swamp Palace is actually locked by Floodgate here. Even though we pulled it before, since we left the game or screen transitioned, I'm not sure what the trigger is, it filled back up. We have to pull this and the water flow. And since the Dark World is a dark representation of the Light World, I could have dashed. There will be water in Swamp Palace. There isn't water there if we don't do that. Just gonna want these items. See, it feels like hints aren't on useful hints, but one of the hints told me technically where Boots was. So I don't know if I'm wasting time or not checking these hits. anddrond probably knows if hints are on or off. I could probably ask him if hints are on or off, but I don't know if he'd tell me. anddrond?
Yeah.
Are hints on?
Hints are on.
They've all been pretty pointless, huh? They've all been pretty pointless, haven't they?
Well, I've gotten a pretty good hint. Unless it was pointless for you because you like already did it before you got the hint or something. Somehow I don't remember where it was that I got the.
I think I found the hint, but it was really vague. I'm not sure of the hint you're referring to. We might be referring to different hints, but
Yeah.
at least one of the hints was kind of useful, but it was vague.
Yeah. Was it a someone friendly one? Because I did not know who it was talking about either.
I think it was someone friendly.
Kind of disagree with the person it is being classified under this. How are you feeling about the seed so far?
It's okay. I'm kind of running out of checks because I don't have all my go mode items, but I've been able to clear crystal dungeons one after the other, but I'm running out of the opportunity to do that, so...
What the fuck is this? Oh, great, more. This is just some lovely randomizer generation.
Do you have hookshot yet?
Oh, I fucking wish.
Same.
Every time I walk up to a hit, I'm like, yo, be a hookshot hit, come on, do it. And
How many go mode items are you missing?
Hit.
I've pushed to talk on with anddrond in Discord, so he'll only hear what I'm saying when I want him to. I don't have hookshot, so if I had hookshot, I'd be able to get over there without doing all this. But he probably won't get hookshot before he gets here either, so he'll probably have to do this. Hookshot is, I'm feeling like it's in one of these chests, but I'm not sure. It'd be cool. Be cool and stupid. I don't need to do this, but I'll appreciate the heart because I'm gonna get hit anyway. If Ice Rod is in here, then I can full clear Turtle Rock, and God, I think is that everything we can do? Shit.
Not hitting me. Probably.
Palace is what I'm in. All I have left is Turtle Rock. For dungeons to check. I mean, I could check the pendant dungeons, but that wouldn't be very good for us. Oh, It's a glitch called super speed. If we dash 1 frame after we release a spin attack, we'll be allowed to move at super speed until we hit a screen transition or jump off a ledge. You can only do it if you have boots and a sword, obviously. Check that tower. I think I did. Of course. No! I want that one. Oh my god, that was so lucky. I wanted that 1 heart and I got it. It's annoying. These rocks take a bit to lift up, and can't lift them up if I'm taking damage, of course. Alright, Ether Turtle Rock. Let's go, question mark. Damn it. So that Thieves Town run was a waste of time. Because I don't need ether for anything. I have everything needed to beat this dungeon except for boss completion. That was a really stupid hint. I am actually gonna do one thing. Now that I have boots, there's a cave called the Hookshot Cave that I can get 1 item in. You're supposed to use the hookshot to get it, but since you can easily do the following, you can get at least 1 item, or exactly 1 item, because you can't do this to the rest of the locations. Oh my god, that was so close. Okay, I was really hoping that was the ice rod, but it wasn't, so... Turtle Rock, here we come. I'll do this. Wait, that doesn't help me. In a world mode called Inverted, where you start in the dark world and end in the light world, that tail, you can go on it and jump onto the top, but it wasn't the case here. That's pretty dumb. Oh well. I'm gonna have to do this the vanilla way. There's a glitch that lets us do this fast. We'll be allowed to, I shouldn't have done that. If we had the hookshot, we could hookshot one of these torches and fall off and go back to the beginning of the room. Oh god, no. We're losing a lot of time here. Go up. Cool. Okay, do not restart the platform. Alrighty. I think it's faster to do this, but I'm not sure. Actually, I had the boots, so it was faster to do the other thing, but we'll be fine. There's another chest down here anyway. That's close. If I'm moving on the platform, taking damage from enemies won't knock me off, but if I'm not moving, then it will. And I'll have to restart the room. Okay. I don't know which is which. Please. Why are you like this?
Dude, the hint dialogue for an item being in your house. There's unique hint dialogue for an item being in your house.
Yeah, it's actually really stupid.
Have you already seen it this year? Have you seen it before?
Yeah, I've seen it this seed. So, I know where you are.
Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck? Dude, these hints have been such dog shit, other than, like, the one useful one. I find it completely unacceptable that there is a hint for the item in your house, though. That is just 0% chance of ever being useful.
God damn it. I was really afraid that guy was gonna hit me, but we could. Are you kidding me? Let me speed. Come on. Fat finger. Stolfus has the key. I forgot about this. Oh no, wait, it's fine. I thought it was really long. Have the big key. Oh, we do have the big key. Okay. What? Okay. Alrighty then. Whatever you say, game. There might not be any other chests. Oh, there's laser bridge. Of course, how could I forget? Helpful. But not useful. God. We're really hoping that Ice Rod is in here so we can beat Trinex. Or Ice Rod and Hookshot. At least Hookshot has... hello? There we go. I was gonna say at least Hookshot has to be in here, but that's not the case. There are other chests in other places where Hookshot can be. And that would suck. Because I actually don't think I know what they are. That was so close. Out of my way. Okay. So we're gonna actually, just in case we die, this will reset what our entrance is, and if we die, we'll start here. Are you kidding me? Okay. Oh, God. Yeah. Come on. So bad. Is this just a... Okay. Okay, that unlocks this for us. We can now beat this dungeon. The ice rod's probably in it. I hope the ice rod is in it. I don't need to do that. The hookshot allows us to hookshot to a pot where a key is. And doing that will allow us to beat the dungeon because we need that key to unlock the door. I think anddrond and I are both on like the same train of things. If he's behind me, he's gonna find hookshot in the same spot I did. Probably with a lot less trouble than me, so it might be like even. Actually. So it's actually going to be pretty tight. There's one chest in the, later in the dungeon. One or two, I don't remember. I remember how to get... Oh, there's 3 chests. They might have the ice rod. That would... Or they might have the big key, and the big chest might have the ice rod, and that's, something that would really suck. Because I'd have to go back. Because, I'm past the big chest right now. Did you find it?
I assume like ice rod or something's in here.
Something is in there.
Yeah, the problem is I didn't find fire rod until I left here to come back here.
Oof.
Yeah. Kind of pissed about that. Not the only misfortune that has befallen me with a seed. I have a feeling you're probably winning this one, unless you, like, somehow made the same mistakes as me.
I didn't go into Turtle Rock without fire rod. Without... yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's... God, I hate Argus. This is gonna be the big key, I'm pretty sure. Oh no. I'm missing a chest. Oh no. Never mind, I'm not missing a chest. The big key is just in the big chest. Oh god. I don't know where the ice rod is. God, it could have been a fucking dungeon. Oh no. Well. Flute? Okay. I activated the flute, but not any of the sound that comes with the flute, apparently. Go in here because we have a bug net now. We can catch fairies, and there are fairies in here. There's also these. Might as well get them over here.
Okay.
We have a green potion in our last bottle, so we don't need the 4th fairy. If anddrond decides to do Thieves Town first, and Ice Rod is in Thieves Town, we'll be at a disadvantage. It's a sword in Gain's tower.
What an epic fucking seed, dude.
You got it.
It. It's not what I was expecting, but... Well, it is half of what I was expecting. I had a 50-50 chance of being right. Considering the 2 items needed for go mode.
Yeah. Red guards are the worst. This is not the room I needed to go into with a sword. Bombo's time? Bombo's time. I'm in the doorway. You can't use an item that's not a potion in the doorway. Which is really stupid. Of course they don't provide perks. It's fine. We're just looking for Ice Rod. That's basically it. I don't want to fuck with you guys. Man, this seat has been... It's been okay. This last bit has been the only part I really disliked. This, Ice Rod hunt. God. Up here we're gonna do a bomb jump, skip, sequence break type thing. Tell me where Ice Rod is. Did I get the key? That's not the key. Oh god. Give me the key! There we go. We already had a key, but that key's for a different door. Alright, here we go. Come on. God. Oh, fuck. Otherwise, oh fuck, don't fall in the hole. Oh god. If we didn't do that, we'd need to do it the vanilla way, which is hitting the crystal. Fuck. Okay. Which is hitting the crystal switch to make that go down, and we would have needed to do a lot more of the dungeon that way. It's a trick that anddrond doesn't know, and so I have the advantage over him in that regard. We should go in here, actually. That thief should get damaged by the spikes he's walking on. We still have magic powder. I kept the mushroom to do the fake powder glitch. Okay. That's vanilla. I don't want you being there. There's a glitch you can do with a mushroom Cane of Samaria called fake powder, which just uses, basically does the effects of magic powder without actually having magic powder. And, what magic powder does is it unlocks one check. There's a magic bat that if you spray his, like, home or something with magic powder, it'll give you an item. And then it also turns certain enemies into easier to handle things. It'll turn anti-fairies, the red things, red skull things, into normal fairies, so you can pick them up for health. and it'll turn dead rocks, which are these invulnerable enemies that I don't think I've talked about them, but we've seen them before. It'll turn them into like slimes, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, yeah, we're gonna do a bomb jump here. We could just go up, but I think this is faster. So I was right, there's a Tower of Hera key self-locking itself. That needs fire thing is the basement. In Tower of Hera, when you go to the basement, there's a bunch of torches you need to light to get a chest to appear. What am I doing? Could I forget that leads here? Time loss. Yes, we can just glitch already. In the same vein as the invisible block glitch, and you saw that when I used Fire Rod, you can just use items when you're pushing a block, and it'll have its effect to go through. I want you gone. Okay. I have bombos and half magic. We're good. Actually, we're not gonna beat the boss. Yeah, we're not gonna beat the boss just yet because there are other chests that we can get. Of course. This seed might be 2:45. 2 hours 45 minutes. Oh god. Ice Rod. Fuck. Where is this? Yeah. God. We can beat the boss now. I want as much magic as possible. The boss requires magic to defeat. It's Cold Stare, the boss's name. Big block of ice with an eye in it. You'll see. You need to melt the ice in order to damage the cloud with an eye. And you will soon learn that secretly... Pause. There are 3 ice. And they're weak to the fire rod. Not weak per se, but... Ice rod. Fuck. Don't pay attention to that tracker. The ice palace isn't a crystal. I should probably change that. Wait, do we have both red crystals? Oh god, Turtle Rock's the last red crystal. Oh god, I think I forgot I had the flute in certain moments. Not just now, obviously, but I've been saving quitting going to Sanctuary just to get to Kakariko when I could have done that. Did I clear Eastern? That was a kill. Well, looks like it was kind of a time save to do the chests. We only lose a little time going through this room. I assume anddrond probably did this dungeon before Ice Palace. This is the slow way. I don't know what I'm doing. Because he dislikes Ice Palace. Plus I have that bomb jump advantage. I should be dashing. Ooh, so close. Okay. This is fine. Better than most times this room is. Enemies randomized in it anyway. There's a hint over there, but we don't usually check it because it's slow to go downstairs, flip the crystal switch, and check the hint. Probably also changed that Thief's Town is the green pendant. Ice Rod could be fucking Sahasrala's item. That'd be so stupid. I have to beat this entire dungeon and then go to, Are you kidding me? Are you fucking... Okay. That's a dead rock. The thing that just blocked me. When you hit it, it doesn't die, it just turns to stone. And, you can't go through it, regardless of what kind of state it's in. Big key. Oh, of course we do. This time we need to have the big key. Ah! So now we can turn that dead rock into a potato. See what a potato looks like if I feel like it. Am I gonna be lucky? I got lucky. There are some setups to line yourself up on pixels that function for not bonging into locked doors. Are you kidding me? Okay, that was so fun. You're actually not actually. Okay, never mind. I have 2 hearts. We're fine. Okay, tape time. Actually, this time. Ice Rod? I mean, okay, that's fine too. Ice Rod's probably... Fuck. Dude, this is such a shitty seed. Okay. I was not aware that they could shoot across layers. As in top floor and bottom floor. Ice Rod. Fuck. Ice Rod. That's the only item we need. Do you have Ice Rod yet?
Yeah. I'm in go mode.
Oh, fuck, you might win then.
Really?
I haven't found it.
Oh shit. Hell yeah. I just spent the last, like, 10 minutes talking about why I think I lost the seed. Well, there's a little bit of a problem for you here because I am currently entering GT.
Bro.
Well, that certainly makes me feel a little bit better about this seed. I'm gonna be a little bit unhappy when you discover where it is, though. Also, just out of curiosity, were there any times this seed that you tried to talk to me but forgot about your push to talk?
There was one time I was already when I said, the hints, are hints on? And you said, yeah, I said, they're pretty useless,
Is
huh?
the joke
But,
here
like...
that you're not talking, because, haha, oh yeah, push to talk.
Watch my VOD later.
God.
Actually, I'll just tell you. When I first talked about the hints to you,
Yeah.
well, after you told me that there were hints, I said they're pretty useless, huh? I said they're pretty useless, huh, like, once, and I forgot to turn on push to talk for that time, so I just said it again.
Amazing.
What am I missing here? Fuck. No. No! I didn't have Caper Cane of Burna when I came up here first. Give me super speed. Is it in Spike Cave? Because I forgot to check that.
No, but it is a cave.
Fuck.
I was gonna be really pissed myself if it was in Spike Cave. I forgot about Spike Cave for a while as well. Not even forgot, just put it off because, like, the first time I was near it, I was low on health and magic. So I was just like, eh.
I didn't have Cape or Cane of Burner when I came to Spike Cave at first.
Yeah, I had Cape.
Yeah, you probably had Cape because you did Zora. I did Zora way late.
Oh, yeah. I got the hint that was like, unique items underwater, and when I see unique item, I automatically assume it's the boots hint, because there's a guaranteed boots hint every season. And so I started just rushing Zora, like, watch my VOD for my Zora strats.
What cave have I not checked? Oh, fuck.
Since I don't know
Dude,
Houlihan, I had to find alternative methods of getting a lot of rupees quickly.
Can you repeat what I said just now? I was commentating and calling myself massively retarded for missing this cave.
Okay, you're gonna want to watch my VOD for my Zora strats, because when I got the hint that was like, unique item underwater, I just started like rushing Zora pretty much, because I auto-assumed that the hint that says unique item is going to be boots, since there's a guaranteed boots hint every seed. So my strats to get rubies for Zora, since I don't know any way to get into Houlihan, were something. Oh my god, I actually got in there. So you're in go mode?
No, but I'm probably about to be. I'm about to do Hookshot Cave.
Hehe. Har har.
Have you done every dungeon except for Eastern?
Yeah, I also made a useless dip into Ice Palace. Which is one of the big parts why I kind of thought I was losing. Because that combined with, I dipped Swamp Palace without Hookshot. As you know, I dipped Turtle Rock without Fire Rod. I did something else stupid. I waited on Pod for a while, which kind of sucked because there were just a lot of items in there.
Yeah, I went to Pod as soon as I got the bow and the hammer.
I didn't have bow when I first went in there. I kind of forgot about that hint. And was rather happy that there was a bow in Pod anyway.
Oh, I must have gotten silver arrows in Pod. Holy shit.
Like I said, though, I kind of just made a lot of unfortunate plays, especially at the end. I hadn't beat Skullwoods yet, and I went up to beat Turtle Rock, and when I was like outside of Turtle Rock, I realized, wait, I'm gonna have to climb up Death Mountain again after this after I beat Skullwoods to go to Gambit's Tower. Which, you're gonna see in my VOD, I was not that happy about. Oh my god. What is this hell right now? Oh, come on. It's hitbox! Fucking tiny red jellyfish are actually the most annoying thing ever. Okay, sorry, stand corrected. This enemy in this position is actually the most annoying thing ever. What the fuck?
Let me know when you get the Triforce. Oh, fuck, I forgot. Let me know when you get the Triforce.
Okay. like, be a bit, because this enemy is in a really terrible position. So... Oh, fuck off! Shit. Fuck.
Did you die?
No, but I'm at a half a heart in Gauntlet.
Which one's Gauntlet?
It's... Ganon's tower upstairs.
Okay.
No!
You already found the big key?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Dude, I thought I was so far behind, I was gonna do fucking tile room to try to gamble a win.
When you read the hint of Turtle Rock, I was in Turtle Rock about halfway through with the fire rod. So
yeah.
we were pretty even, and I fucked up Laser Bridge.
Wanna know what my shot was to not fuck up Laser Bridge?
What?
Spam Cane of Burna.
Oh. Fuck that.
Whenever you go through Gauntlet, you are going to... The moment you see this one enemy, you are going to know exactly what I'm calling the most annoying enemy in the game. Probably can guess what room it's in. Maybe. Of course, only if you speak. Shit.
Try X. Okay. I don't know which one. We'll just pretend Meyer was the other Crystal Plus. Getting 2 red crystals or Crystal Plus red crystals, you can see here on the right, lets you access an item from a bomb shop in the Dark World. A big bomb that lets you blow up a big crack in the pyramid, and there are 2 items in there, but we didn't need to do any of that shit because well, we're in go mode. So, one of the... Normally we don't, I'm pretty sure normally people who are racing don't talk to each other. I mean, they can, but like, if you give one other person information about the seed, it could have consequences, because, you know, the other person would know what to do or what not to do. Anddrond said he was going to do Tile Room as a gamble, but he also said that he had the big key, meaning that the Tile Room did not have the big key. So we don't need to do the Tile Room to get the big key. This dungeon is the last one. Well, the last non-crystal dungeons. Just you know, Ganon. The boss of this is Aghanim 2. Aghanim 2 is Aghanim, but he clones himself twice, and you have to beat. You only have to beat one of them. Only one of them is the true Aghanim. But once you do, Ganon will come out of it, and shit, I forgot a key. Let's hope that we don't need that key. Ganon will come out of it and... Or Ganon will come out of Aghanim as a bat. Okay. And will then, okay, I'm just gonna put a bomb here. I've lost my train of thought. Come out of Aghanim as a bat and open a hole in the pyramid, and that's where you fight Ganon. There we go. Okay. That was close. That's all we need. Big key will let us do the actual dungeon, which is where you get to Aghanim 2. You gotta be kidding me. I am fucking this up so bad. Okay, we're just gonna... I don't need that health anyway. Since anddrond's so close to beating Ganon's tower and therefore Ganon, what I was planning to do was, if he won before me, then my race doesn't really matter. So I was just gonna cheat, because at that point it doesn't really matter if I finish, unless I think it's fun. But like, since I'm also pretty close, I might not cheat. I also kind of just wanted to showcase, it's a major glitch that lets you go into the wall in a cave and, oh god, and then just go straight to the room where the Triforce is. It's kind of, funny. At least I think so. Which is why I wanted to show it off. But only if I lost, because, no major glitches. That's a major glitch. So I would forfeit the race if I did that. But if I lose, I'm already forfeit. Please. Oh, come on. One thing to note about the hookshot is that it gives you iframes, which I'm not using right now, but it's fine. Let me show you what magic powder does. Oh, that's not what I thought would happen. I thought the Landmola's rocks would come out at different times, but they came out at the same time. While I was dashing that way. What? Oh, fuck. There's an invisible floor there. There's a hole in the middle, so you gotta walk around that. I can do the thing. Hey, that just increased the number of enemies in the room. Okay, Bombos time.
Oh no! Silver, my one true weakness.
That's him beating Ganon. Are you kidding me? That's so terrible. Dude, leave. Oh my god. Hey. I'm mega retarded, dude. No! Cutting it close. Okay. That's off screen. God damn it.
G.
Triforce.
You get to drink from the firehouse. Thanks, Triforce.
This is terrible. God damn it. Dude, there's a fucking fire snake on the fucking...
Yeah, that is the enemy. Dude, when I respawned, I went and stocked up on fairies. Like, I literally respawned that fairy room just to get more fucking fairies. Because I was not dealing with that shit. It's so terribly placed. Might be one of the worst placed enemies I've ever seen.
Oh my god. Dude, I'm pause buffering this fucking thing. And it's still giving me trouble, because every time I turn a corner...
When I pressed live split was 2:46:22.
I forgot to turn on push to talk again.
Yeah, let's see kind of... Did you do Aghanim early, or did you last location Aghanim?
I almost last location Aghanim.
Okay. Other than, like, Zora.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop recording so it starts saving. Okay. Yeah.
I
pretty much last location. Honestly, when I first got, like, Master Sword and Lamp in Moldorm, I kinda considering just booking straight to Aghanim. And honestly, I would've if I didn't get Book from Ice Rod Cave. And then the hint for a unique item is underwater was in Desert, so I was like, oh, maybe that's a boost. I'm gonna go ahead and get money for Zora. I'm gonna go do, like, Eastern to try to get money for Zora. Maybe I won't have to do Aghanim after that. And I just kinda ended up last locationing Aghanim because everywhere I went just kind of led to me doing more things until I couldn't do more things other than Aghanim.
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah.
I realized I was pretty
Aghanim.
close, but I realized that I wasn't gonna have Dark World access anytime soon. When as I was doing checks, so I was like, I've got to do Aghanim.
Yeah. Like I said, I really considered just rushing it, and the game was just like, no, go here, no, there's an item here, yeah, there are boots on Zora.
I thought underwater was at the dam.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the locations, by underwater also includes under the waterfall and 99% churning. Almost certain that it includes Zora and Catfish, because they start underwater and come up. I'm not too sure, though. Yeah. Just a quick spoiler for how I farmed rupees for Zora. If you watch my VOD, you are going to see a room you will probably have not seen since your first playthrough.
Okay, he's dead. It'll probably take longer for me to do the major glitch that lets me skip Ganon. So I'm just gonna... Oh, randomizer. The way the enemy shuffle works for this randomizer fucks up
you got
sprites
fucked by the ice rod location.
Including
because, like I said, if you watch my VOD, I was trying to like metagame the fuck out of GT. I was trying to think of like everything I knew you did in GT so I could do everything else and hope that was where fucking big key was. It wouldn't have worked, because, as you now know, GT was left side, so I would have gotten fucked if I did right side like I was planning, but... yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that anyway. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. If we die here, we'll just get revived by a fairy, it's fine. Iframes. Hook shot. Stop that fucking hit. I can't hit him when he teleports. Oh shit. If you don't hit him, if you don't hit him at all, he doesn't, like, destroy the ground, and you need him to destroy the ground. We're actually gonna wait. No! It doesn't matter that we died. What matters is, we didn't make it to that torch in time. Fuck. Shit. He turns off the torches, and now we need to light both torches to defeat Ganon.
How, like, actively did you commentate?
Pretty often.
Okay. I didn't mega commentate this time, but, like, in the footage that got Gade and the first one, I talked, like, practically as much as I talk when I, like, stream. I just kind of didn't feel like it this time, because I talked about practically the same shit both times, and I just did not feel like talking about it again.
What do you lose our fairies?
I assume you didn't end up finding the sword that was in GT.
No, I didn't.
It was probably like right side or middle or something.
Die. God. Oh my... I'm massively upset. I wasn't facing the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run out of energy. Oh. Okay, we got it. Okay. GG.
Not that far behind. What's your time?
2:54:40.
Honestly, I already forgot the time on my live split was because I closed it, but my A Link to the Past time is 2:43.
So about 10 minutes. I died 3 times to Ganon. I was lucky I caught 3 fairies before I went to Ganon.
Yeah, I didn't die at all in Ganon. I had a really good fight up until phase 2. I missed one slash to take him to phase 3, and then kind of just stopped paying attention and didn't even get the slash there. And then I just played the fucking Silver's phase really slowly for some reason.
I on the first phase, he teleported down and I went up against the wall, and I died there. I didn't really care because I was like, I have 3 fairies and I don't normally die to Ganon, so we're just gonna keep going along. And
I had 2 fairies, so I really just was not paying attention to the Ganon fight.
I did that phase, but then when he went to phase 4, I was in a really bad position and got fucked over, and both the torches went out. So,
you want to know the big brain strat to never not get torch glitch as long as you actively remember to do this.
No, it's cause if you're talking about mashing the lamp in front of the torch,
yeah, that's what I do.
See, the thing is, Ganon teleports once and shoots a bat, so if I stand in front of the lamp, I'm gonna get hit. So
I bait the shot somewhere else and then I go there and start mashing.
So when I tried to bait the shot, there was still the fucking bat from the spinning bat from the previous phase, so I got fucked, and yeah.
At least you didn't fall into the hole.
Yeah, that was mega suck.
Yeah.
Well, auto tracker doesn't auto track go mode.
Yeah, I mean, it can't really.
But
like, it kinda could try to guess, but
I mean, it doesn't even track go mode when you have all 7 crystals.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There are times where that's not really your go mode. Like, there's a ped goal where crystals mean nothing at all, so...
Yeah, but I have it set up so that it's 7 crystal Ganon and 7 crystal GT.
So,
I don't know. Maybe something to talk to Imosaru about.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, because you know when you're in go mode.
Yeah, you know when you spend an hour searching for the ice rod in Hookshot Cave.
Dude, this seed reminded me of the Super Ice Rod Hunt 9000, because like, that's basically what it was.
I knew that ice rod wasn't in Turtle Rock, and I was like, okay, if it's not in Swamp House, it's in Hookshot Cave. Because I checked everything else by then.
Did you check Thieves Town before getting all 7 crystals?
I checked Thieves Town pretty early. It was kind of a gamble, but I was pretty sure it would pay off, because I hadn't gotten boots yet, and I was like, okay, well, what if the someone friendly is Srashla? What if he has boots? Which was kind of one of the main reasons, and it ended up paying off decently well. Tempered Sword, the entire seed pretty much is pretty nice.
I went into Thieves Town and did the first 4 chests, and I assumed that you didn't go into Thieves Town at all, because it was a big gamble. So,
yeah. I hate Pendant Thieves Town. I just because you either don't go in and it's not that or it's like everything, or you go in and it's nothing. So terrible. And Thieves Town's just such a quick dungeon to clear. It's really nice for it to be a crystal.
Yeah. When I found Ether in there, and I thought that you hadn't done Thieves Town. I was like, dude, if Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, either of them are Ether, then I'd be at an advantage, because
or either of them Ether, I don't even remember.
Neither of them were Ether, but so I thought it was a waste of time. But then the Ice Rod hunt happened, and then I went in there again, and then it was still a waste of time.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. And like I said, I also gambled on Ice Palace too, and didn't pay off. Especially sucked because there's an item on the boss. I tried to be smart and count up the items because I know there's only 3 items in Ice Palace, but it doesn't matter when there's one on the fucking boss. And I also pretty much full cleared Eastern, so like this practically ended up being an ADC for me. Like all I didn't do in Eastern was the boss because I knew it had compass or whatever.
Yeah, same here. I didn't do Eastern. I thought my route was pretty good too, cause I had a couple mishaps, but I wouldn't go into dungeons unless I had the items, and I was getting the items, or I was getting items and able to complete dungeons pretty like well. Like I got Fire Rod. I didn't go to Skullwoods at all until I got Fire Rod, and that turned out to be fine because I could do other dungeons. I think my first Dark World dungeon...
I went to Skullwoods pretty early, which is really nice because it had Flute and Burna.
Damn.
Like, not really necessary, but, you know, Flute's nuts. I guess Flute was necessary, but, like, not necessarily that early on. That was before I even had Titans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how do you like that? I've gotten 3 Aghanim seeds in a row. Because that seed I recorded was also an Aghanim seed.
I don't know how to feel.
I know how to feel, I hate it. Fuck Aghanim seeds, please stop giving them to me. I'm having you generate the next race seed.
Dude, it's gonna not be an Aghanim seed, it's gonna be a pet seed. Yeah. Get all pendants for the pedestal.
This seed was kind of dumb. Hookshot and Turtle Rock pissed me off. Like I said, I was so sure I was super behind because of the fiasco of finding where the fuck my Fire Rod was.
You're only like 5 minutes behind, and I kinda assumed you took somewhat the same route I did, especially because you were 5 minutes behind. So I thought you would like, done like dungeons in the same order. I didn't consider that you did Thieves Town.
Yeah, like, if I was ahead of you, that probably would have meant I didn't do like Ice Palace. When did you do Ice Palace? When you were on the Ice Rod hunt?
Yeah, when I finished my last crystal dungeon.
Fire Rod hunt.
Huh?
I did it when I was on the Fire Rod hunt because I did dungeons in the order of least inconvenience to get to them once I reached a point where my options were Ice Palace, Hookshotless Swamp, and Rodless Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
And it just ended up that was the exact wrong order.
Yeah, I went to Ice Palace as soon as I did the last crystal dungeon that I had available. I went to... Yeah. I was like, well, it's going to be in a dungeon, because I forgot about Spike and Hookshot Cave.
Yeah.
Because I probably forgot about Hookshot Cave because I went there and did the bonk check, and then just like wrote it off in my mind.
That's what made me remember it, is I did the bonk check, it wasn't anything. I was like, well, if I don't get Ice Rod before doing Turtle Rock or whatever, or after, if Ice Rod isn't in Swamp, it's in here. I don't think I had anywhere else it could be.
Alright, I've been recording the credits in our little talk this whole time, but I'm gonna stop now.
Okay, yeah, I stopped recording relatively early.
Say your goodbyes. That's your goodbye? That's your goodbye?
Yeah.
Alright.